Your next question, please.
Well, open government is much more than claiming that your door is always open. That's not enough. Government's function must be truly open. How do you plan on making government transparent in Agawam?
I am so glad you brought that up because that's something you copied right off the Mass DOR website and plagiarized because I saw it out there. Go to massgov.play, their website for DOR. But I'm very proud. March of 2010, we won the Massachusetts Campaign for Open Government 2010 e-Government Award to the City of Agawam in recognition of its commitment to open government and governing bodies' agendas, minutes, audits. Everything is online. Everything under government is a public record. We won an award.
Mayor Cohen, your next question, please. Oh, I'm sorry, rebuttal for Rosemary. I'm sorry.
Well, I truly believe that transparency in government deserves to be on a website that's searchable. We need to put our city records, as the city of Worcester has for the past year, online for all expenditures that can legally put online. Developing a check register for the Commonwealth is our treasurer, Mr. Grossman. But I think that the expenses of doing that can be taken out of the Comcast funds in Agawam. Thank you.
Mayor Cohen, your next question.
Boy, that would be a misuse of that fund. I just negotiated that contract. Can't be used for that. Instead, we're using that to set up a television studio at the school, which is what that money is for. But I want to get back to another issue. You've talked about pay raises, and I want to quote you, Mrs. Sandlin. I'm taking the pay raise. I think that I deserve it because I work a lot of hours. You explained that based on the cost of living and everything else, you deserve the raise. How can you knock our people when you've taken a 5% increase and never talk about that?
Well, Mr. Cohen, the cost of living increases that are granted through the governor's office are based on the cost of living. I took that money, I paid my taxes on that, and I more than donated the $3,000, which was after-tax money, to agencies and groups in my communities that I represented. I chose to take the money and donate it to people in my district instead of foregoing it.
Rebuttal.
Mrs. Sandlin, that's wonderful rhetoric. I didn't get a raise, and I've donated over $4,000 out of my own pocket. I do that every year. That's something we all do. You took the money. You have to declare that money. You can't say that it's okay for me to take a raise, but not anybody else. Please.
Rosemary, your last question, please.
Well, you know, we've been talking about the high salaries in Agawam. We've talked about a lot of shifting of the tax rates. We've talked about a lot of rhetoric about how wonderful Agawam is. I think that Agawam needs to be represented by a mayor that is involved in the community, the entire community. Agawam should have a mayor that is honest and truthful and not just playing to a small group of people. Mr. Cohen, I believe that you should be telling the people the truth about Agawam.
Question.
And telling them exactly what you plan to do to solve the $2 million deficit in the next fiscal budget.
Mrs. Sandlin, we don't have a $2 million deficit. I don't know if you know how to do math, but I have finished college, have degrees. You have a high school degree. You obviously can't do basic math because our budgets are balanced. Our Moody's, our bond rating, S&P are very high. That's because of my fiscal control. You must be looking at another set of books.
Rebuttal.
Mr. Cohen, there are pay raises coming down for the teachers and for all the other contracts that you negotiated. That will put us next year with starting the year with a $2 million deficit. And how do you plan to do that? Have you looked at looking at our insurances? Have you looked at any problems? I think we need to be very frugal and very careful of what we're spending our money on so that we can make sure that teachers are not threatened with layoff, that fees are not threatened by you who
Time.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. Our time is running out, so it's time for our closing statements from the candidates. You'll each get 60 seconds to make that closing statement, and Mayor Cohen will go first.
Thank you. I want to again say how proud I am to serve as your mayor. Our town is safe, our streets are clean, our schools are wonderful, we have good ratings, we just had a report on the MCAS, our scores are high. Our community is a place where people want to live and work and play. I am a proud person. I have integrity, I have ethics. I believe that I work for every person in this community, and I have done so. And that has been shown through my accomplishments. It has been shows in our tax rate. We have the lowest split tax rate. We have wonderful businesses. We are working to get more business. I'm meeting with Target at the end of November. We are working very hard for every person, not just the select few. I have had more compliments on my handling and leadership in this storm because I have been out there knocking on doors. I have been riding in the neighborhoods. I put my personal cell phone number out. Please re-elect me on November 8th.
Rosemary, your closing statement, please.
I have tried during this campaign to address the issues that will make Agawam a better place. Issues like becoming more cost-effective. Issues like reducing spending and expanding our tax base, performance-based budgeting, and really, truly, real transparency. And perhaps the most important issue of all, honesty and truthfulness in government. There is no room for deception in Agawam government. As mayor, we should not say one thing and do another. We should do as we say, and that's my pledge to the Agawam citizens. I ask for your vote on November 8th. Thank you.
Candidates, thanks for your participation today. On behalf of 22 News, I would like to thank Richard Cohen and Rosemary Sandlin for taking part in today's debate. Election Day, of course, is Tuesday, November 8th. If you'd like to watch this debate again, you can on WWLP.com. For all of us here at 22 News, thanks for watching. Have a good afternoon.
Massachusetts get their local news from 22 News than any other source.